Yuma and Astral have just been given a brand new character-exclusive skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links called Zexal Weapon. Let's talk about it. You can unlock the skill by completing Area 4 in the current event Duelist Road. Now, this skill will activate at the beginning of your turn if you have 2,000 or lower life points at the start of your turn, just like Destiny Draw. Yuma and Astral will build the overlay network and Zexal Morph, effectively. What this skill says is, after transforming into Zexal, you'll be able to add one C39 Utopia Array to your extra deck for the price of free, and then each turn you can look at the top card of your deck before you draw the card. On top of that, you can use each of these following effects once per turn. Before you conduct your normal draw, you can change the top card in your deck to a ZW monster. And also, at the beginning of your main phase, you can play one ZW monster directly from your hand. Now, a ZW is a Zexal weapon monster. These are monsters that vary in level between 4 and 5 and have the ability to equip onto a Utopia monster to give it special effects. They actually provide a list of monsters that you could potentially use with this skill, the ZW monsters, and they all have interesting and unique effects. However, for the purposes of today, right now, what we care about is ZW Lightning Blade and ZW Tornado Bringer. ZW Lightning Blade is a level 5 monster that says you can target one Utopia monster that you control, equip this card to it from your hand or from your side of the field. That monster gains 1,200 attack, and that monster can no longer be destroyed by card effects. It also makes it so that other ZW cards that are equipped to monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects either, so no MST and that kind of stuff. So if this card is equipped to Utopia, it becomes indestructible. Moving on, we have ZW Tornado Bringer. This is another level 5 monster that equips to your Utopia from your hand or your side of the field. This one will give you 1,300 extra attack, but on top of that, it makes Utopia untargetable. If you're seeing where I'm going with this, equipping both of these monsters to Utopia at the same time gives you 2,500 extra attack. It makes you indestructible and untargetable by card effects. You basically create an unstoppable monster. Assuming you're only able to get this card onto your Utopia, it also has the added effect that if that monster would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy this card instead, bearing in mind that Utopia has the ability to negate attacks, so you might not need it, but it's there in case, you do. The other ZW cards all have very interesting effects, and I'd suggest you go check them out and come up with something creative if you would like to, but I would like to show you how to make an unstoppable Utopia. So this is the deck list that I'm currently going with for this build. I'll explain every single facet of it. I basically repurpose the existing Onomatopoeia deck list to fit this current strategy. Gaga Sister isn't really necessary in this deck list because the point is to create an unstoppable monster. Searching your deck for spells and traps isn't really what we're here to do, and since that limit 2 is not in the deck, we are able to use Hey True Name. With the original Onomatopoeia deck list being repurposed, I'm using quite a few more of the Dododo monsters, which means I can use Dododo Draw at 3 to try and get myself into more of the monsters for more summons, but on top of that, I'm increasing the likelihood that I draw into my ZW monsters after having been able to make my Utopia. I'm running Solemn Scolding in this deck because of the life point requirement of our skill. The skill only activates if you have 2,000 or lower life points at the start of your turn. What Solemn Scolding does is, if it's the only set card in your spell and trap zone, you can activate it and negate basically anything by paying 3,000 life points. Now, you might be wondering, why don't I just use something like Battle in Box of Veil? I can't use Kite Roid because I already have a limit 2, but why not use Battle in Box of Veil to try and dance around the life point requirement? Well, unlike Destiny Draw, this skill requires you to still be at below 2,000 life points at the start of your turn. Destiny Draw is fine because you can gain those life points back, but as long as you've taken 2,000 damage, it will activate. This skill will not. So there are probably other ways that you can go about this, maybe use Karibos, all of that kind of stuff, but I wanted to try this out first. Another important thing to consider with this trap card is the loss of 3,000 life points rather than the required 2,000 puts you at 1,000 life points, which is within range to use C39 Utopia Raise effect. It's a non-targeted way to reduce your opponent's attack. So the skill will allow you to create this unstoppable monster, but instead of Utopia, you can automatically rank up into Utopia Ray, use its effect, boost up your attack even more, and go in for game, basically. The Zexal weapon cards will equip to any Utopia monster that you control, so Utopia Ray is a viable target. Just know that if you already control a Utopia and you've equipped the cards onto him, they will not float onto Utopia Utopia race, so you have to know what you're doing before you do it. I'm using Utopic Onomatopoeia for obvious reasons. It has the ability to special summon 2 monsters from my hand and just start a lot of combos. Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat is really good because it can special summon Dododo monsters from the graveyard, which means I can potentially make more than one XYZ play in any given turn. I can make Utopia alongside other XYZ monsters. Dododo Dwarf Go Glove will special summon itself from the graveyard if there is a Dododo monster on the field, and so, you know, it has that synergy while also being a target to use with Dododo Draw. If your opponent controls a monster and you don't, you can special summon Dododo Buster from your hand as a level 4 monster. That's a free XYZ summon. Now, again, remember, we're not using Gagaga Sister because we don't need to search the deck out for spells, and also we're going into rank 4s, not rank 6s. Now, she can also make rank 4s if you use a card like Gagaga Child, but you could either add those 2 extra cards into this deck without the skill Onomatopoeia, or you could just do it like this. And Dododo Witch, when it's special summoned or normal summoned, has the ability to special summon a Dododo monster from your hand. That's the main deck. I'm only running 3 copies of the ZW monsters because if the skill is working the way that it should, I'm just able to basically search them out of my deck if I need them. But also, because they're all level 5 monsters, I don't want them to turn into bricks before I'm able to get Utopia out. For the extra deck, I'm running Utopia at 3. You probably don't need that many. I would say 1 to 2 and you're looking fine, but I had the 3, so I figured why not. Malevolent Sin is there for removal if I decide that I need it. Abyss Dweller is for utility, effectively. I'm making myself untargetable and indestructible. Locking down my opponent's graveyard would be pretty nice. Excalibur is there just in case, you know, I want to win more. 4,000 attack on the field, really nice. And Roach is also there for utility. I'm indestructible and untargetable, but I'm also disrupting my opponent's plays. There are probably more disruptive XYZ monsters that you could use, because with a deck like this, what you're thinking about isn't really offense with your additional XYZ monsters, you're just thinking utility, right? So Abyss Dweller and Roach are actually the best monsters that I have here. Having thought about it, I've actually chosen to add in Diamond Direwolf for, you know, just spot removal. Again, the XYZ monsters in a deck like this are for utility. Utopia is doing all of the legwork. Your deck list doesn't have to look exactly like mine. This is just my initial idea after, you know, having just gotten access to the skill. So let's take this into battle and see how it does. So with the ranks having just reset, I'm currently in the legend range, so this should be a decent enough caliber of battle to test out the deck. Okay, so this appears to be pre-banless Dark Lords. In the landscape that this deck is going to be used in primarily, my opponent's deck probably will not exist, but let's see what we can do regardless. Let's get started. Okay, so I chose to make a Dweller turn 1 because I don't have any ZW monsters for Utopia that I could make right now, and I'm effectively just trying to get to my next turn, negate one of their effects using Solemn Scolding. Oh, well, okay then. Okay, so we might actually be about to see a level augmentation build. We'll see how it goes, but I have to watch it. Okay, so this person is choosing to play very defensively, which I wouldn't actually expect, but I guess I can live with that. I guess I'll just, there was nothing to negate, so I can't trigger the skill, which is absolutely fine. I mean, that's not really a problem, but hey, I'll do what I can. As you can see, this deck is still very, very good at getting the level 4 monsters on the field to make the XYZ plays. If my opponent was doing things for me to negate, I'd have been able to use the skill by now and go into something. So I guess it's good that we actually created ourselves a little bit of a toolkit to use here. I'm going to use Roach and see how goes it, right? So even without using our main strategy, we're still doing all right, I would say. Okay, so we go in for some damage. Let's see what happens. They haven't activated the back row. They haven't really done anything in this duel so far. They've really just played defensively. I don't Okay, so I think they just bricked. I think that they just bricked. We might not be able to use this as a fair estimation of how this deck will do. Okay, so they normal summon a monster, they normal summon stick, so that's absolutely fine. We do it. We negate the stick, reduce our life points, but at this point we've already got 2 monsters on the field, so it's a bit late for that. I just wanted to do it for the sake of doing it. Yeah, we're a little stuck. But we get to Morph regardless. All right, I'm here for it. I am here for this action. Let's go. Yo, this is beautiful to me. This is actually beautiful. Yo, that's saucy as hell. That's saucy as hell. So I have to confirm this? Okay, that's fine, I guess. How? Okay, all right, thanks. So It showed me, right. It showed me, I confirmed what monster was at the top of my deck, and then I got to draw it. Okay, so, what do I do now? Yeah. Okay, so it was cool to get an opportunity to transform there. It was interesting to see what the deck looks like, what the skill looks like when it's in use. Let's try again. Okay, so what I think I learned from that battle was, even if I don't need Utopia, I should still summon him. That way I can, well, I guess the skill works. Yeah. We're going to try this one more time, and if I can't make it work live, I'm just going to show you a duel replay because this has been an interesting run so far. Okay, so this is exactly the kind of hand that I think I'm here for. I Dododo draw using Dododo Witch, draw 2 cards. Hopefully I'm able to get myself a, Hey Trunade, that one. And we go from there. And it's a photon deck, alright? That's fine, that's absolutely fun, let's go. Okay, so unfortunately for him, he does not have any back row at his disposal, which, I mean, it feels bad. I'm not gonna not attack you as a result of that, but like, it feels bad, I guess. Okay, so we got the Hey Trunade, we don't really need it, but let's begin. So that means if they had the back row, we would still be able to do what we wanted in this instance, but like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Let's get started. We activate Zubaba Bancho Gaga Coat to bring back Utopia from the graveyard. Okay, beautiful. We've got our Utopia on the field. ZW Tornado Bringer can equip to Utopia. Utopia is now untargetable, and it will not be destroyed by battle in the first instance, even if that was a concern. It's really not right now, but regardless, let's activate this card now, summon Dododo Witch from our hand, and now we're able to make another XYZ summon just for a little added defense. I decided the defense is for the weak. I made Excalibur, and we're going to attack them now. Yeah. Okay, so our opponent is on their last legs. We're looking pretty good in terms of life points. We can't be targeted as Utopia. Now, our Zexal weapon cards can still be targeted. Okay, so he's gonna flip down the Excalibur most likely, realizing that he cannot target Utopia. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so he sets a card face down. That's absolutely fine. He just added his Photon Stream of Destruction to the hand. Now, what I'm thinking is he's going to try to attack me. He's going to, oh no, okay, he attacks the face down monster. What I realized after the turn ended was, since I can't be targeted, Photon, his monster's effect to target me and banish both of us from the field wouldn't actually work on Utopia right now. That's actually amazing to me. We have a second Tornado Bringer. This is actually perfect. Well, it's not completely perfect because you can only control one at a time, but I can force him to use that face down card, the Hey Trunade. He can't target Utopia, but he can target, oh. Okay, never mind. Never mind then. We go into battle, don't activate Utopia's effect, and that's game. That's game, you love to see it. I'm sure he was expecting to banish both of us, but he couldn't. So that is this deck in action effectively. That was a clean display. That was a clean display of what this deck can do. I'm very happy with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts on this new skill, the new Utopia deck type and everything. I'm so excited to play around with it. With that, I've been Saul. Hopefully you've been entertained and informed, and bye.